Hi SQL folks, let's see how you can handle the divide by zero error in SQL Server. Take a look at this query. It's doing a lot of things, but most importantly, I want you to focus on this portion. What we're trying to do is divide within that this attribute by another attribute called total CN. Well, CN stands for consignment number, but anyway, it's a simple division that we are doing here. When I run this query, everything looks good simply because the total CN attribute, all of them, if you see the total CN here, has different numbers, right? 8, 2, 12. There is no 0. In other words, in other cultures, as we say O. So there is no O, there is no 0. So everything is going fine. But the moment this attribute has a 0 value, this will be a divide by 0 error, which means you're trying to divide by 0. Now let's go and change that. So I am going to open up, okay, which attribute is this? Let me just go down. Okay, this is a table called set1. I have set1 here. Okay, I'm just going to right click and edit top 200 rows. And I am going to change the value of that first record for the city Angul. I'm going to change this total CN right now. Let me just zoom in and show you. This is 8. I'm going to change it to 0 so that we encounter the divide by 0 error. Okay, so we've changed it. Let's jump back to the query here and scroll up. Now that for that first record, this one, what you see here, the moment we are going to divide within that by total CN, which is divide by 0, you will see the error popping up. Let's go and execute this. And the moment you execute the query as expected, you see divide by 0 error encountered. Now it might happen that this attribute may not have zeros. So if it doesn't have zeros, it's all good. But if it does, then there is a problem. Your code will break. So what can you do? To curve this problem, to get rid of this problem, you have a couple of solutions. The one that I like the most is the null if function in SQL Server, right? The null if function, let me just put it down and then I'll explain it to you. What you want to do is you are dividing by 0. That's not possible, right? So what you could do is instead of dividing by 0, you could divide by null. When you divide something by null, it will output null. That's how T-SQL logic, T-SQL relational rules work. Anything divided by null will return null. So what you have to tell SQL Server is that, you know what, if I am dividing two attributes and if the divisible there is 0, just change it to null. And instead of dividing by 0, divide by null. That's what you want to do. And you could do this using the function null if. So when I punch in null if, okay, my attribute is total CN. So I say null if, and I am going to put this bracket. So null if I want to say this one, comma 0. Okay, what does this syntax mean? Null if function has two expressions. This is my first expression. Forget about the cast and all of that. Just simply assume that my first expression is total CN and my second expression is 0. Two expressions. The null if function says that if both the expressions are same, return null. So if total CN is 0, because my second expression is 0, both of them are same, return null. This is what you want. So null is going to be, so you're going to divide within that by null and the output is going to be null. That's what you expect. This is how the null if function works. Null if, two expressions, if both the expressions are same, return null. And that's why you have purposely put 0 here, because you are telling SQL Server, if my total CN is same as 0, which means the value of total CN is 0, return null. And then you're dividing within that by null, returning null. Your code will not break, but let's go and execute this. Now what you see, your code is not breaking. This is what total CN was, right? 0. So you are dividing 0, you're dividing 8 by 0, but this is not what is happening. What is happening is you're dividing 8 by null, which is giving you null. So you can see that TAT performance shows up as null. That is the division. If you see, this is the attribute that we are computing. All right, so divide by zero error is gone. You have circumvented it using the function null if. Hope you like this example, and I'm sure you're wondering, okay, how can I get rid of null here? Can I show zero here? Of course, just a few days back or in this video list of SQL Maestro's channel, search on is null function, and I'm sure you already know about that. Is null. With the help of is null function, you can get rid of that null thing. You could replace it with anything you like. All right, friends, hope you have enjoyed this video. Null if function, very powerful, these little things in SQL Server. And yes, on SQLmaestros.com, do check out our master classes, a masterclass recording, 40 hours of deep dive performance tuning and troubleshooting. And once you subscribe, you get lifetime access. Happy SQL.